Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Kino and thank you very much for joining me. Today we're going to do a tour of my storage base. Reason being is when I did the tour of my main base, which is that building over there, a lot of people asked me where was my auto sorter? Where do I keep everything that I need? And when we did the main base, I did explain that this is quite a late game base. It doesn't need to be the ultimate survival house or anything like that. And that I've got everything quite spread out over here. And I did have an amazing storage place that I want to show you. And that's what we're going to do today. So here we are at my farm, and everything around me here is all part of what I call my main base. I don't have villagers in this base because I was having trouble with raids and things like that. And I didn't want this area to kind of become someone else's. This is my base ultimately. So I've got everything that I need down here. Now the main base is this part over in this section. As you can see, just sort of round the back here. And that was the entrance that we did the tour to previously. I've got all of my various sort of farms, and I don't really use these as farms anymore because I've got auto farms elsewhere. But I think these give us sort of nice aesthetic, particularly the tree farm with the clear glass over in that direction. Down here, we have the entrance to the railway station. And over this bridge, which some of you will know from a previous video, wasn't actually here at all, is where I have my auto sorter. And this bridge and this whole valley was actually made by my daughter, and she put all of the little kind of tropical things in there, all the coral and everything like that. So I'm very grateful to her. But just inside here we have a secret entrance to my auto sorter. Follow me through. And this is it. And I think in RTX it looks absolutely fantastic. However, I am going to have to switch back to normal Minecraft because when we start looking at things like the redstone in here, I think the RTX is a little bit too much for my eyes and it kind of loses focus a little bit. So as much as it does look amazing, we are going to switch over to normal Minecraft just about now. So here we are back in vanilla Minecraft, and you can see that my storage center doesn't look quite as impressive as it did before, but it still looks pretty good. We head sort of back outside, you can see the real difference with RTX and vanilla Minecraft. But it still looks really good. I think it looks amazing. Anyway, let's head on back inside. This is the main entrance from the main base. And this is how my auto sorter works. So, first of all here, I have a auto furnace system. The auto furnace system works on minecarts that we can start off here. And that sets 2 minecarts going in the back. And we can put ore and raw food and everything into this container here. All of the fuel for the furnaces can go in here, and it all gets furnace and smelted and whatever needed, and then that will go through into the auto sorter. From here, we can see that the items can just go back in. These are any sort of items that don't need to be smelted. I've also got an XP switch here, which, to be honest, can come out now. This used to lock all the furnaces, and I used to be able to get the XP when there was a little bit of a bug. There is not a bug anymore, and this doesn't really get us a lot of XP. But as you can see from the system here, if we take this block of stone out and we put this block of stone into here, that will shoot up through there into the water column along the top, and we should see it back down in here. And that'll work for all of these. It will go all the way along into all of these different sections, and it goes all the way around. And I have just about everything I need here up until 1.18. From 1.18, it does need a little bit of an extension. Now this area here is kind of my miscellaneous. There's a few sort of workstations and things like that. There's a way of making bone meal. So anything that I've got in my extra boxes that can be sort of turned into bone meal, like these mangrove leaves, for example, which I'm not going to do because I actually need. But let's do this corn flour. We can put it inside here, and then that will go down, drops into the bone meal generator, which I've got somewhere underneath there, and that'll fly back round into the bone meal. We've got random wood and random stone stuff. This is stuff that I haven't yet sorted, and just sort of keeps it all together. And then there's lots of other bits here. It's all sort of sections that I haven't sorted into individual storage places yet. And it just drops down like all the different coloured concretes, for example. Around here I've got a little bit of a brewing station, which again is obsolete because we have a whole brewing factory. And we've got more corridors and more things up here, including all the different types of trees. We've got all the different sort of minecart rails and some ore and things like that up here. And here at the end, we have got some spruce planks with dark oak planks, and that's because all of the planks come together. Likewise, with the slabs, they all get organised and actually drop in together. And I'll show you how that works in just a moment. But this whole section has all been designed so it kind of gives us sort of a medieval vibe. It was very boring at one stage, and it took me a little bit of time just to kind of dig it out and come up with this design. And over at the back here, we've got our final section, which is where I will be building the extension eventually. And all of these kind of areas do get sorted. And on the back here, we've got the bone mill, which will be where the corn flowers just got dropped into. At the back here, you can see this is sort of where the main work is. I've got the water streams all the way around, which takes all the block in between the section and back to the start. Because once it works its way all the way around this section, it actually comes back to the start here. And these are my overflows. So these are all the things that haven't been sorted, or I've got too many of. Cobbled deep slate, for example, I've got too many of them in my cobbled deep slate section, so it overflows into here. So when it gets there, I can just pop it into this bin, which just drops it into the lava. I do have to be careful not to drop my other stuff in here though, because it gets quite expensive. Yeah, it's quite expensive. But as you can see, I've got lots of things here that haven't been sorted yet from 1.19 and 1.18, and I've got a little section here which has got some old shulker boxes and things like that. And that's basically the aesthetic side of it. So let's go and have a look how it works. So we're going to drop here into the design world, and the first thing we need is this anvil. We're then going to need a stack of blocks. Now I'm using dirt. Now this bit's very important. You need to use the anvil to change the name of those blocks. So for the purpose of this, I'm going to write subscribe. The reason I'm going to write subscribe, again this is important, is that everybody watching this video should subscribe. Then you put it in your inventory, and we're going to start placing some chests. Now for this example, we're going to have 3 sorting options, and we're going to have a chest at the end for all of our overflow. Next, we need to put steps on the top of the chest, like so. The reason we put the steps on the chest is quite obvious, is so that we can still open the chest once the items are inside. If you use 4 blocks, that'll block it. So now, because we've got the chests, we can still open up that. Then we're just going to build around here, just to give it sort of an aesthetic look, so that we also know what we're working with. Around this side, we're then going to start to put a row of hoppers in. Now we've got hoppers going into this one, and we're going to start making a run. Then we have hoppers going into each of these chests. Now this is very important. We need hoppers going into these stairs like so. Once we've done that, we can then make the run of the hoppers go all the way through. So we're going to link these pointing into each other so that this is a row of hoppers. And once we get over to this end, we can pop that there, and then we know where to put our entrance chest. And that's going to be this double chest here. Now, anything we put into this double chest will then follow that run of hoppers. Anything that goes through will be pulled out into the chests below, and ultimately they will overflow into this chest at the end that we're just blocking off here. So I'll give you a quick example. I'm going to put something in this chest at the top. So we'll put the deep slate in there, and that will just come out in this first chest here. And likewise, anything that goes through at the moment will just come straight through onto that first chest. So now we need to do the sorter. And to do this, we're going to take out 3 blocks behind these hoppers and 3 blocks behind them. We're going to place redstone torches on the side away from the hoppers, and then repeaters going towards the redstone torches. We need to then cover this all up to activate all of the blocks and make a platform like this. Then we need comparators coming out of the second row of hoppers. After doing so, we place redstone on the whole of this top section here and the section below. And that is done. It's as simple as that. So then we go over into the hoppers itself, and we need to get our subscribe blocks because everybody should subscribe. But these are placeholder blocks, and these stop the hoppers being filled with anything other than these, which is why we needed to name them something different. By putting these in, it stops anything going in and pushes it all the way to the end. Now we need to sort it so that we can use our sorting office. And what we do is we put some planks into the section here, and this should drop down to 41. If that's working like it is, that'll be what it does. And we can put whatever we want into that first section there. So we've put the red mangrove planks in, and we've put the warp planks in this one. and they will all drop down to 41. And all the time there is the placeholders in there. Nothing else can go into these boxes. If we go around the front to the chest, you can see that the remainder of the 64 has already dropped into these chests. What you can do there is just place signs on the front, frames on the front, and just put a nice little display of exactly what's going to be in these boxes so we can see. And that's what I've done in my sorting office, as you've already seen. And just to show you that it's working, what we're going to do here is we're going to, once we've put this in here, what we're going to do is we're going to take these blocks out completely. So these are empty. And we're going to place it into this first box here. Now this is our input chest, and we put anything we like in here. We don't need to do it one by one. We can do it all at the same time. So if I show you here, I'll put the red one in as well while that's still sorted. That's the mangrove. And we'll put the ordinary planks in as well while that's still sorting. And we'll put that there. And just for luck, we'll put in a stack of emeralds. Now, as we step back, we'll just let that do its magic. And you'll be able to see now, when we go to these chests, it's all of the blocks that we want and only the blocks we want. And the emeralds, which haven't got a sorter, have popped into the end chest here into our overflow. And really, guys, it's as simple as that. You can design it any way you like, as long as you've got slabs that can still open the chest. You can make the chest double height, and you can extend these for miles. So now that we know how an auto sorter works, you can see how I've implemented them into my base. At the back here, these are the auto sorters that I've just shown you how to use, and each of these sections will have a different block in there ready to be sorted. And that's how we get everything sorted, because everything starts back here. This is the section with the furnaces, and these are some starting water streams. So the first water stream here is the unsmelted items or the food that we want cooked, and that drops into that barrel there, which then feeds into a minecart, which goes backwards and forwards, dropping everything into the top hoppers. Then we have this second section here, which is the coal and things like that, which we've got there, and that dropped into these minecart. This minecart here, which should be over there. Oh, why is that not working? Ah, because I haven't turned it on yet. Yeah, which will go into that minecart there, and then that will spread into the bottom section underneath here, which fuels the furnaces. Once I've done that, then move into a section here, which has got a dropper, which goes into the top there, which I think is another water source. Yeah, which is another water source, which runs it into the blocks there. And then everything follows all the way round. Once it follows all the way round, it actually comes to this section here, which is where the barrels are. The slabs, sorry. The slabs and the planks. The slabs and the planks get sorted in here. So each of these sections is a different slab and a different plank. They get sorted into their own sections, but then get shifted along and dropped into the floor under here to follow another water flow and actually take it round to where the slabs were. Likewise with the planks on this side. And that's how we sort all of the planks into the same section, because you can't do a multiple sorter. When it reaches the top, so if I show you back around here, when it reaches the top, when it follows this section all the way along, I've got a series of these droppers which drop the items into a water stream, which is then followed all the way along and all the way around the outside into the next section. Likewise, when you come around the corner, I'll show you that here. And around the corner, everything's gone round and it's been sorted all the way through there. And then up here, we have another water source above us, which is following everything along. Then it will go up and down into the section, and then we have the last water source. And that's how we do it. Another couple of things I want to show you. This is the main entrance. So if we head over this way, just at the back on this side over here, I do have another entrance. This section here is so that I can actually play with the water flows and make sure that everything's fixed. But over here, I have a bedroom which I designed and built for my son. And it gives us a view over the main base. So you can see the main base over there, the boat and the dock and the first castle over there. Out the back here, this little section, we have the first secret entrance, which is this door here. press this button and we get access through this tiny little cave, and we can go in through this water, and this brings us out onto the dock where we just were. If we look, that's the bedroom window there. Obviously you can't see this entrance too well. If we come back over here, we can make our way back in through the rear of the base through this secret entrance just here. The second secret entrance, again if we start back at the beginning here, this one actually takes us to the farm, which is quite a useful entrance because the amount of things I had to use up in the farm when I was building it. So I built this entrance at the back here, and we use a hopper clock to open this at the back here, and this brings us back out at my farm at the water tower. This is the horse stables, and this is sort of the main area of the farm over in that direction over there. If we come back over, this should shut when we press this button. There we go. Likewise, when we open it back up, you can see the floor goes. We go into the stairs, into the tree, and then this platform there actually shuts it when we walk over the pressure plate back into the back of the base. The third and final secret entrance, if we go back from the start here, we're going to go past something quite important, something quite interesting that I'd like to show you, which is my two food farms at the back here, which do get very noisy. The first of which is a chicken farm, which I will show you a tutorial about, but ultimately it works. Lots of chickens trapped in a box that eventually lay eggs that drop into a section at the front. They grow up into adults, they then get cooked, and that's a water stream back into the farm. Likewise, we've got a section here where we can grow cows. We put the cows at the top, we feed them, they drop down baby cows, and we can go in the bottom here. We can either kill the cows quite easily like this, use the lever, or we can press this here, and we can cook the cows. And that turns into cooked eventually. But the entrance actually leads us past this, and we go down this entrance here. Go all the way around, press this secret button for this door here. Brings us all the way out the back. We start seeing some life when we see these mushrooms, and this brings us to the Cave of Wonders, which is my nether portal section here. And this strange trap fish which we spotted before, and out into the water lake here, which is underneath the main drawbridge. And that brings us round. There is a way up here. And that brings us round to the front, or just if we're sort of going in and out of the nether, it's an easy way. And that's that for my storage centre. I call it my sorting office, and you're always more than welcome to join me on stream or on YouTube to see how I use this in my Let's Play series. But the amount of time I spent here, I'm not looking forward to ever having to build one ever again. And to be quite frank, there's plenty of room for extension and renovation. I don't think I will need to build another one soon. That being said, I'm going to leave you with that. If you have learnt something, please do drop a like, share, subscribe, and do tell your friends. Guys, build like no one's watching, and I'll catch up with you soon.